What's up, gamers and geeks? Matt here with That's Fair Podcasting and Gaming Geeks Live. And in this video, I'm going to talk about what I consider gamer expectation versus development entitlement, or perhaps gamers' entitlement versus developers' expectations. Either way you look at it, I want to talk about what in the video game industry is considered what we expect versus our entitlement or what we should get. Either way, I have a feeling you guys might know where I'm coming from, but stay tuned. So it was 2007. I'm in my mid-30s at this point. I'm old. I'm in my mid-30s at this point, and I'm playing this new IP called Assassin's Creed, and I'm playing as Altair Al-Lahad. And I don't know how you pronounce his middle name, but I remember just enjoying this game. Yes, playing it now, it's very repetitive, but it was a new IP, breaking new ground on a new story, and I just remember being immersed in this story, and I was just completely blown away. And when I play an Assassin's Creed title now, it's all about less story, just more immersion and bigger maps. Anyway, I've got a point to this rambling. But anyway, if you are new here, please feel free to subscribe to That's Fair Podcasting or Gaming Geeks Live. Like the video, you help us every time you like these videos grow, and I appreciate it. We're all, we're throwing ourselves at the mercy of you guys for us growing. And if you don't do any of those and you just watch this video, that's what really matters to me the most. I can't stress that enough. Thank you so much for joining. But in this video, I'm going to talk about what I feel is, I think developers, video game developing companies, think that we're entitled. And in many ways, I think as gamers, we are. I hate saying that because I'm not an entitled person. I don't go around feeling like I'm entitled. But if I'm going to drop 60, 70, now over $100 on stuff that has early launch and all this extra content, I should feel entitled. You need to feed me what I think I'm entitled to as a gamer, because you guys set this bar, not us. Gaming developing companies set this bar so high, especially when they come out with a new IP. Like I brought up Assassin's Creed in 2007. Now in 2025, we're what, 18 years later? And we don't get nearly the immersion and story that we were once told. We get just this sandbox. We get fetch quests. We get all this shit that really isn't, it doesn't feel like at the end of the day, we really accomplished anything, at least in this video. I don't know how you guys feel about this, but I truly feel like, I need to be told a story, keep me involved. Are we entitled? Let's talk about Neil Druckmann and Naughty Dog. I don't remember exactly what date it was when The Last of Us was first released, but it was a well-crafted game fest. It was just the beginning of something badass, something beautiful, something we could all really put our hands on this controller and really feel like we were a part of this world. And then in 2020 with The Last of Us Part 2, it felt like it was ripped from us. Everything was forced. Like all games are now forced. Games nowadays, I can't say all. That would be a stretch. But so many of these games that we have fallen in love with, they're forced on us as far as specific narratives to follow. Take Dragon Age to Veilguard, for instance, and I'll get there. You guys know exactly where I'm going. But to me, these developing companies, your Ubisofts, your Bethesdas, your Naughty Dogs, Sucker Punch now, you had a beautifully crafted, well-designed Ghost of Tsushima, and now it's Ghost of Yotei. Like, do I mind playing a female protagonist? Absolutely not. But I like choice. I really like choice. Like I said, The Last of Us gave us a sequel that, Neil Druckmann, his whole attitude towards gamers is just shitty. He doesn't care. It's his company, or I guess he's president, I can't call it his company. But these gaming developing companies, they set this bar so high that it's not our fault that we feel entitled to receive the same thing in return. I don't want the same game, but I want to feel like I'm immersed in that same world with improvements. I mean, let's go back to BioWare. Take, for instance, Dragon Age Origins. I think it released in 2009. Don't quote me on that. It had an expansion called Dragon Age Awakening. And it opened up a story about you being the Grey Warden. And you had so much freedom of choice. Yet, it was an open world to some degree, yes. All RPGs are linear in certain respects. But you felt like you went farther in that game than, let's say, this rushed sequel, Dragon Age 2, which I enjoyed that game, but it didn't feel the same. You notice that EA is putting their logo. Now, EA, I'm fairly certain, had their logo on the first Dragon Age, absolutely. But it felt like an EA game, the second one, Dragon Age 2. And everywhere you went, it was almost like you were, like I believe Kirkwall and other places, you felt like you were going to the same areas because they rushed it. Because the gamers stopped mattering and it was more about pushing it out there. Slap Dragon Age on the title because we're going to buy it. And we did. I did. I even bought Dragon Age Inquisition. You could see this going downhill. And then came Dragon Age The Veilguard. They focused on preaching to us over an actual fucking story that mattered. Like, how many decisions did you make in that game that actually mattered? How many previous decisions did you make in other Dragon Ages that mattered? Please tell me in the comments section that it mattered in The Veilguard, because it didn't. They spent the game, I think everyone was considered a pansexual, I believe everyone. That means everyone can just sleep with everyone. That's not realism. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't play video games for realism. But I also don't give a shit who wants to sleep with who in a video game. It's not about romance options to me in a video game. If it were, then I would be a sad man because, I've got my real life wife. I don't need, it's nice for story purposes, extension, loyalty missions, whatnot, to have these romance options. If I had to go back, my first romance option in a video game that I remember that mattered to me, I guess, if you have to do romance, was Basta Lashan in Knights of the Old Republic, which came out in 2003. How many years later is it now? That's 22 years later. And same company, BioWare, that did Knights of the Old Republic, did Dragon Age The Veilguard, where it mattered to them, like everyone was pansexual. That's just, and then it was a preaching type game with the pronouns, with the, look, you remember the Qunari I thought the Qunari were at their strongest in Dragon Age 2. I really did. But now look at them in Dragon Age The Veilguard, what they've become. And it was preaching over story. They preferred to pour their resources into preaching to us gamers between the difference of what their view of right and wrong is versus giving us a good story that kept this franchise going, and BioWare has all but destroyed that franchise. Will we ever see another Dragon Age again? Now I hope not. Not if that's what we're going to get. Now BioWare is scrambling with who they have left to make this new Mass Effect headed up by Mike Gamble. I'm really pulling for BioWare, but I don't like their odds. Are they going to be even able to give us a Mass Effect that the first trilogy did? My God, yes, I'm entitled. I'm a gamer. You're selling us your product. You want us to be interested in your product. So yes, I think it is expectation over entitlement to some degree. But in many ways, they run the same track, because my expectations are based off my entitlement, and I should be entitled to enjoy the video game that they originally crafted from the beginning that sucked me in. And then they don't bring that magic back. They bring their own strand of what they think it should be, and then they cram down your throat what they think you should have in their product. And that's just not the way it works. Because us gamers, the majority of us gamers, aren't buying into that slop. EA purchased BioWare. Did BioWare need to be purchased? Did they need a bailout from EA? I don't know the exact backstory, but the second I found out EA had purchased BioWare, I thought to myself, well, that's going to drain that company slowly until they're a shell of their former selves, and look exactly what's happened. Now, people ask, can you really just solely blame EA? No, I can't. But let's be realistic. EA in, EA Sports, when they did Maddens, the new Madden would just be the same engine, just updated rosters. They slapped this on here to give you this update, but really you weren't purchasing anything that was really stand out. Then they started introducing us to different career modes and whatnot, but by then I was already out of the Madden. I mean, EA owns BioWare. They have their hooks into BioWare, and they did Dragon Age the Veilguard. I mean, I remember my wife laughing because I go, DEI. It's in the game. Because it was. DEI in Dragon Age the Veilguard was in the game. And let's be realistic. I mean, I'm worried about the new Mass Effect. Mike Gamble did promise that it's going to steer away from anything that Dragon Age the Veilguard had put out there. But again, you know, you're still under the EA logo. Are you really going to? I hope you do. But EA is known for loot boxes and cash grabs. And I mean, I don't know. I don't have any faith. I just know that I am an entitled gamer, and I should be an entitled gamer. Now, I'm going to talk about what? Assassin's Creed Shadows. They bring in Yasuke, the legendary black samurai, African samurai. Can't say African American because at that point in time there was no African American, it'd just be African. But there is no proof to show that Yasuke was ever a samurai, let alone a legendary samurai. The guy was holding, what, Obinaga's umbrella at best? He was a retainer at best. He was a servant. I can't say slave, I don't think that's what, but I don't know. I just know that he was never a samurai. People are like, well, you don't know. Well, Wiki has changed recently by one and only Thomas Lockley, very recently, to fit a narrative so that game could ultimately come out. And people are like, well, you're just a hater. No, I'm entitled as a gamer. I am entitled to get what I paid for. And the Assassin's Creed franchise has just slipped. I mean, I enjoyed Odyssey. Let's talk about Assassin's Creed Odyssey. My favorite Assassin's Creed ever is Unity. Right there. That's my favorite Assassin's Creed. Arno was my favorite protagonist of all time. But the one I put the most hours in, by far, is Assassin's Creed Odyssey. But not if they're going to give a shit like Assassin's Creed Shadows. I mean, the thing is, you know, we had choice back in the day with the male or female protagonist. We don't have that choice anymore. And that's fine. But again, they're doing away with choice and force feeding us this shit that as a gamer we should be entitled to be able to have the option. We've had it before, and they'll call me a hater, but no, I'm not hating. It's not a matter of hating. It's a simple matter of me not buying because as an entitled gamer, I was there from the onset. You know, a lot of the younger generation are now thinking, hey, let's take this, let's purchase this. This is the shit. Yes, Yasuke, this and that. What about us that were there at the onset in 2007 that purchased it when it first came out? Purchasing Ubisoft games before Assassin's Creed and the Prince of Persians. But there's just no room for them for us anymore. They don't give a shit. They're ushering in a new crowd and they are failing miserably. And they deserve every damn bit of it. I mean, look at Bethesda. Let's use Bethesda as an example. You remember Fallout 3? Oh my God, who doesn't? 2008's Fallout 3. How many hours did you spend in the Washington, D.C. wasteland? I couldn't count. And then that Fallout 4, and it changed slowly. And then they're ultimately into Starfield. Now, I don't know about you, but Starfield failed miserably. The best way to describe Starfield, it's an ocean-sized game in ankle-high water. You have all the exploration you want, but the story and the NPCs. Have you ever played such a large game and have ever felt so alone in a game? Because in Starfield, yeah, you go to different cities on different planets, but you're always alone. Even with people, you feel alone. The immersion of the story is gone. And what's taking its place is just more to see, more to explore. But again, an ocean-sized game in ankle-high water. I mean, I guess in the scheme of things, story, I want story over just overall immersion. I think the last great immersive game that told a decent story, not great, but decent story to me, well, Monster Hunter Wilds, I think did, and Black Myth Wukong. But as far as me as an old school gamer, Skyrim gave you the immersion with some storytelling. that to me, the best thing about Skyrim was Dawnguard DLC. As far as the story, it was awesome. But gone is story over immersion. Now it's about just slapping more and more into it and taking more of your money and expecting us to just deal with this regurgitated shit that we're getting over and over. I mean, like I said, you have games now that preach to you over story, but not all. There is light at the end of the tunnel as I wrap this video up. Archetype Entertainment with Exodus. You have some of the old school developers from BioWare. And then you have Rebel Wolf, some of the old school developers from CD Projekt Red making Blood of Dawnwalker, while Exodus being made by Archetype Entertainment. We have hope. We just got to hold out for it. But my hope is dwindled down to practically nothing. I play older games right now. Me and my wife are still playing 7 Days to Die 2.0. Sometimes I play it on my Twitch channel. Shameless plug, sorry. But if you want to follow me on Twitch, I am Matt Gaming Geeks Live, all one word. But anyway, guys, I guess that's it. I mean, the thing is we've been preached to now. These games that have come out now, again, things have shifted. Things are looking up. But 2023 and 2024 for video games, for games we were looking forward to, I really think we ate shit. And the thing about it is they don't give a shit. But the tides have turned. I just hope it's not too late, because now I find myself playing older games because I have to go back. Again, I want story over immersion. I can say that my expectations are high because I'm entitled, but again, video game developing companies, they set that bar high for us. We didn't set the bar. Our expectations are predicated upon what bar they set when they originally started these IPs. So in the scheme of things, it's on the developers, not us gamers. But anyway, that's all I had, guys. I sincerely appreciate it. Please, again, feel free to subscribe to That's Fair Podcasting or Gaming Geeks Live. Please like this video if you found it worth your time. And if you didn't do those and you just watched this pointless rant, again, thank you so much. And to you gamers, I will forever say all love to you. And I'm outro.